guys like
Coming up.
Oh yeah, I feel that it's a boy.
It's this fucking chair, man.
Technically, Damon should be dead.
Can you imagine you roll up on a kingdom and there's just a waving flag and it's just hairy nuts? And you're like, what the fuck is this guy? You ready to start talking about some dragons?
Some dragons.
Get your dragon on. Did you notice this looking any better than an HBO show has looked recently? Or did it not really matter to you? Actually, yeah, did you watch it on cable or did you watch it on HBO Max too? I guess is a better question.
I watched it on HBO Max.
Oh, okay. Because this is the first show. I think they're going back and putting Game of Thrones and probably other things, but this is their first show on like Ultra HD 4K. For me, it's Dolby Atmos. I think is what it's called. But it's their first show that's actually streamed in 4K.
Huh.
Which I was like, maybe Westworld could have used a little bit of, because it looked pretty bad in parts.
Yeah, it for sure did. I think that the young blonde girl, can't think of her name, and
that's gonna be a big problem. We don't have Nick here to like tell us all the names of people, so we're gonna forget a lot of names.
I mean, I'll catch on eventually. I feel like once I catch on, I'm usually pretty good.
And it does help that it's just one family kind of too. Like we don't have to have like every single house's name.
We did see a Stark. We did see some other houses at the end there.
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, I just hate how they look. I think it's just because they're so white.
I will say this. I'm going to send you a picture. I'm not digging on the guy or anything. I love Matt Smith. He's the guy that plays Damon. But I'm going to send you a picture. He looks exactly like this killer named Three Finger in Wrong Turn in this series that like it kills me. Like look, this is perfect. Tell me that's not him in the series.
Yeah.
The entire show.
Finger.
I love him. I love him as an actor. He was in Doctor Who. He's in a lot of things I like. But fucking, I was dying every time I saw him in this with his blonde hair because it's so tight to his head that he just looks like a murderer in Wrong Turn. Those are like cannibals that fuck their brothers and shit. Which I guess that fits in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And I mean, we'll just hop right in. Obviously, he got sent away, but I don't think that'll be the last we see of him.
No, yeah, I think he's gonna fucking kill his brother.
So.
No, that's one thing I do like about. They really quickly got me into like liking this family and wondering what's gonna go on with them and how they're gonna fight each other and shit. I am a little confused that it does seem to want to tie into actual Game of Thrones some, which it seems like it's too far to even try for me. Because it's like it's 172 years.
172 years.
It's 172 years before she was born, so I think it's like 200 years before actual Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So it's a little while.
Is this little chick like her grandma? Daenerys' grandma?
I think they're like her great grandma. I think, yeah.
I was gonna say because it wouldn't just be a generation; it wouldn't be like her mom unless they lived to be 100. The other thing that stood out to me, I mean, first of all, I liked the episode.
You like your panties?
I do. I thought it was odd that she said "fuck" a few times.
Yeah, that really threw me off when she was like,
"Because I'm going
fuck whatever," and I was like, "Whoa."
Say "fuck" in Game of Thrones. I'm like, was that word around back in like 101 AD or whatever the fuck time this was set in?
I know I'm glad you brought that up too, because even in my rewatch, I was like, I gotta see if that. And then she said it again, and I was like, oh, that just didn't feel normal. But it's kind of cool if they're gonna spice. Maybe back then they cursed a lot, and then
but I didn't think that they said "fuck." I mean, I thought they had like cunt and stuff.
I did like too when they had a big like he's a cunt moment.
Yeah.
But I did like it. So I'm surprised how quickly they pulled me into the show to like care about this family that is all dead by the time we watch Game of Thrones.
Well, but see, I mean, I think it might be kind of cool, or at least the way I envision it. I mean, if all goes well and people watch, I did see this was like the most watched.
I saw that too.
Opener for HBO all year or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was any TV show this year actually.
Oh, was it any TV show?
I think so.
I think it was like 2.6 or something like that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess that's a good sign.
I know,
Hopefully
really,
they
it
keep
does
up,
seem
but-
like most people were like, fuck Game of Thrones. Oh, it's back on? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and not to say that just because last night's episode was good,
Yeah, it's true.
gonna
Next week could
stay
suck
good.
balls.
It could, and it still might be a disaster, so it could be a shit show. But I mean, I enjoyed.
The creators did say too they already have the ending planned. They have exactly how they want to end the show planned, which is good. The last show should have probably had that.
Yeah. I mean, you would think.
One of the things I liked the most about this episode was the jousting that they did. I thought they did that very well. Because normally I feel like, to me, and maybe I'm just stupid, I always thought a lot of jousting was you knock the person off your horse and kill them every time. But in this, it felt more like they were actually having fun, knocking each other off their horses, and then if they had big egos, they'd sword fight and shit. But
Yeah.
I thought it was portrayed very cool in this. It was a lot of fun watching them joust and shit.
Yeah, it was cool. And then obviously, I'm pulling up IMDb because I want to say names just
yeah, that makes sense. I probably
because it's gonna bother me just saying hey, like this person or whatever.
You don't want to be like
So yeah. Okay, so yeah, so Damon,
yeah.
like he's a bitch.
Oh yeah.
He's like a prideful.
He's
bitch.
like an adult Joffrey kind of.
Yeah, I could see that.
It is interesting too though. Like a lot of the times they showed him like while shit was going down, like even like they were killing everybody in the town just to make them afraid of like their cops. And then he went to the whorehouse and stuff and was doing stuff there. And he seems to just kind of sit by himself and like be sad and like not want that. And it makes me wonder if the entire time he'll be this bad guy or if eventually he might be one of those characters that you're like, well, remember in season 1 he was like fucking cutting people's heads off in the street? It makes me wonder. Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with cutting people's heads off and doing shit like that. I mean, that's just a time.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that.
What about when he cut that guy's cock off?
Yeah, I thought I enjoyed how they leaned into like the gore when they were doing that.
Or even the wife, the circumcision on her, not
Oh
circumcision.
Jesus Christ, that was fucked. I'm sitting here going, "Are you kidding me? We're gonna show this?" I'm like,
yeah, it was wild.
Because I finished it today, and that I came home, let the dogs out and like did all that, and I like cleaned all my shit. So then I was like, oh, I'm going to have something to eat. So I sat down and I ate. And then I was like, let me start it. And it was like literally 6 minutes. And I'm like, bro, I just fucking ate, dude.
That's
like
funny.
ripping the bait. And then,
And then they
like,
both ended up dying.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Yeah. It's, well, it kind of got spoiled for me a little bit because
oh, really?
I saw shit on Twitter this morning. And I was like, what? I'm like, oh well.
I thought it was pretty neat too, seeing like after she died, the kind of like funeral ish that they had, where like they have them both wrapped up, and then they gotta burn her and the baby.
Yeah, and then they bring the dragon in to set the bitch on fire.
Yeah, do you think that dragon probably like, what the fuck? I gotta do this? Come on. So was that her dragon that burned her? Do you think, or do you think that was someone else's dragon?
I don't know who's Dracarys.
Well, because that's what they have to say when they, when they make the fire come out. I remember Queen of the Whores.
I don't remember.
She was going.
Well, it's funny because I meant to. I wanted to watch because I saw an article that said there was like 7 episodes you should watch before watching this.
Oh, yeah, they probably give you like backstory and shit.
And I wanted to watch them, but I just didn't.
That's funny. Well, to prep for the show, I listened to the whole audiobook like a couple months ago, almost a year ago, of Game of Thrones, and now like I don't remember shit from that really.
Oh yeah, a year ago. For fuck's sake, yeah, that's forever ago.
Yeah, well,
at this point,
I was gonna watch I was gonna read the book, and then me and Taylor were gonna watch the show together, and then she kind of gave up. So then I started watching it on my own, and then this came out. So then I forgot everything.
So, what do you think of Otto?
Which one's is Otto the hand?
He's the hand. Yeah.
I like him. I'm interested in him though.
He kind of reminds me of who's the guy in Game of Thrones. What's his fucking name?
But I like that guy too, because in Little Nicky, he's Adam Sandler's brother, and he's like he's one of the guys that escapes hell, and Adam Sandler's got to go after him. So I always like to see him.
He reminds me of Littlefinger. That's who I'm thinking.
Okay, I could see
a
that.
little bit.
I could see
just
that.
kind of like, he's super close to the king, so like he has a lot of say. Like and then he like pimps his daughter out to the king.
Yeah, that was a little gross. I didn't like that he did that.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, he walks. Like, she walks in and he's like, maybe you go to him, maybe you bring this, and maybe you cradle those balls a little bit too while you're in there.
Yeah,
just like
maybe you wear one of
your mom's dresses. Yeah.
I'm like, I literally said out loud, I'm like, did he just pimp his daughter out to the king? I was like, what? Oh my god, I'm going, holy hell, what in the fuck is this shit?
That's funny. Yeah, no, I agree. I thought that was a bit strange that he was doing shit like that.
I mean, apparently that was the times. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was just like, whoa, I'm like, that is gnarly. Yeah, I mean, because like technically, Damon should be dead.
Why do you say
Well, because the Dornish guy could have fucking killed him.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
it would have ended his life. But
which, for a minute there, because I don't know the backstory of all these. I know that'll be interesting too. If people like spoil shit, because like these are all books, like the other ones were. But like when he was fighting that guy for a minute, I was like, oh shit, are they gonna kill him? Like, because that could be the thing. Like they killed Ned in season 1. Maybe they kill him this. Yeah. But I didn't know where it was gonna go with that. And even
I thought he was dead.
Which that's kind of the fun part of me, like not knowing anything, is like going into it like that is like being like, oh shit, is this guy gonna die and having no clue? It's pretty. I like that. I also like too when he's jousting, his mask has the big ass hole in it.
Yeah.
You think some of them would just aim for the face? Like he aimed. That was fucked up when he aimed for that horse.
Yeah, he was cocky.
Yeah.
He's a little bitch. For sure, he's a little bitch. But what but yeah, so they're fighting, after they got off the horses, and I mean the dude's got I don't know what those are called, the ball with the fucking.
Oh yeah, I don't know either.
Whatever that's called.
And he was swinging his
and I'm like, dude, they just have wood shields. Like, that's just wood.
Yeah.
I'm like, that ain't gonna do shit.
Well, I guess that's
stop that fucking thing.
Luckily, they're in the armor, but yeah, like, I wonder how often or how common it is in those things for someone to just murder someone right there, right after a joust. Even if it is the king's brother, still attack them and still try to like murder them. I feel like it's pretty ballsy.
Well, we saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed people's heads getting fucking ripped off and caved in, and the little kid was like puking on the fucking. I'm like, Jesus Christ!
That's funny.
I'm like, this is pretty fucking gnarly. And that was like right after I'd eaten, and then 5 minutes later they were cutting mom open to rip the baby out, and there's blood all over.
Yeah, not a good episode to eat your food in.
That's how it always happens. I'm like, I'll grab some food, sit down and watch the episode, and I always regret it. Oysters, clams, and cockles!
Is that what you're reading?
Yes. Yeah. No. But yeah, how shitty of a situation was the king put in when you have to pick between?
Yeah, and then also to make that decision, and then none of them survive. You're like, I just potentially killed my wife and kid by making one decision.
Yeah.
And just the terrifying look on her face when everybody walks up and starts holding her arms down, and he's there like, no, baby, it's okay. They're just gonna take the baby out. It's fine.
I know.
And then they're like, whing, pulling out a blade and shit, and she's like, baby, what's going on? Like,
I know.
That would be fucking scary.
I was sitting there. I'm like, wow, this is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
This is pretty nutty. Because just imagine, just put yourself in his shoes. You don't even have to be king. Let's just put yourself in his shoes in modern day.
Yeah.
You're married, your wife is pregnant, and they come to you and say, "Hey, it's one or the other. Might lose them both, but you got to pick."
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm fucking killed.
If there is a situation, if you could kill the kid and have your wife survive, would you kill the kid?
I would.
Honestly, I would contemplate that too. I think.
Yeah,
because you haven't even met the kid yet, really. And I know she said she can't do it for a while, but
yeah, that's the selfish way to do it. And I know that any mother Well, I wouldn't say any mother. But I
Well,
would say
she clearly was like, whoa, hold on, we can talk about this.
Yeah.
We could come up with a different way.
I feel like the majority of mothers would say, save the child because the child grew inside of them for 9 months and that whole maternal thing. But like, fuck that. I want to keep my wife. Yeah. And that's probably, that's just my opinion.
Well, but also too, you got to think about
hopefully not enough people see this and I get roasted and canceled because I said I would fucking kill the unborn child over my fucking wife. But we'll see though.
But also look like in his perspective, like they've previously had miscarriages or whatever they call it back then. She's lost a couple kids and all stuff. So like the chances of the baby surviving didn't even seem that high.
Well, no, I mean this is thousands of years ago. I mean, I know this is a made up shit, but still, it was long ago. I mean, for fuck's sake, they were giving her milk of the poppy for pain medication. You know what I mean? Like milk of the poppy.
We've given her as much milk of the poppy as we can. So
and then the other thing,
give her some Advil.
And the other thing that is so insane, they didn't know the sex of that baby back then.
Yeah, they had no idea. They're just like, I got a strong feeling it's a boy.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I mean, but that's all just dumb shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, I feel that it's a boy. You're the king. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it could have been another girl. And then, I mean, granted, it ended up dying anyways. But so did his wife. But still, it's like, wow. Like, Yeah, I would have definitely said, just let the kid die.
Yeah.
We'll get the baby out somehow later.
I'll get a side piece. We'll knock her up. You could stay with me. Yeah. He could find another Targaryen somewhere. There's a lot of them right now.
Yeah. But hey, maybe he'll, end up marrying his Han's daughter.
Oh. Well, I don't know. It seems like the Han's daughter is with his daughter though too. So I could. It's a whole fucking love triangle. Yeah,
and then maybe they'll come out looking like Wrong Turn, that guy.
And then this is a secret prequel to Wrong Turn. Holy shit. Yes.
Yeah, they'll come out looking like incest.
Those are women's underpants.
I do got a question though.
I hope to have an answer.
It's true. But with this, because it seems like, at least how I remembered Game of Thrones, it was like there hasn't been, the whole big point of Daenerys being queen and all that is there hasn't been a girl in power really. So it's interesting. Like, doesn't that mean like this chick's just never going to be in power? I mean, like, don't we already know that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like because Daemon's going to come and kill,
and then he'll just take the throne. Because also, it doesn't seem like she wants it either. Even like the look at her face at the end was kind of like, oh well, I guess.
Well, I mean, she's what? I mean, what is she supposed to be? 12, 15, something? I mean, she's young.
I have no idea. I didn't assume that young, but I assumed young.
I figured like 15 to 18.
Oh,
12,
wow,
12,
okay.
That. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't know if they gave us an age that she was supposed to be. But
I don't think they did.
Because what was Joffrey? Joffrey was pretty young too.
Oh yeah, he was fucking. Yeah, he was like 12 or 13, I think, maybe even younger.
Yeah.
I know Arya and Sansa in the books are like 9 and 12 or something like that. Like, they're real young in the books. And then they aged them up a tiny bit for the show. So these girls could be pretty young, actually, depending on where they... Because it seems like they want to go more loyal to the books. Like, even the throne has so much more swords in it, like the book.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was going to say, I wonder what is that all
Which I think
about?
it looks a lot cooler that way. I'm surprised they didn't go that route in actual Game of Thrones. Like,
yeah, I mean, it looks great.
Which even like him cutting his finger, I guess, is supposed to be a sign too. Like, I guess the throne only cuts you, or you only get cut in the throne if you're not like supposed to be there leading. Like if they think you're too weak or something.
I knew that meant something. I just didn't know what.
Yeah, no, I did.
I was like, they didn't just show us that for no reason. I was like, they didn't just put that in there.
They're just like, no, it's a little this fucking chair, man.
10-second filler. Yeah, I'm like, that means something. I don't know what, but it means something.
Doesn't that chair seem like such a bad idea? Like, you're just asking to accidentally kill yourself on it.
Yeah, but it looks cool.
It does look badass. What else looks bad? I really like their fire chandeliers that they have. They have like all over the kingdom there. Those look really cool. Other than just like little really candles on them, it's just like a whole chandelier burning.
I know that. I didn't watch this because she said she didn't want to watch it. And I was like, I texted her today and I was like, you should watch it. I'm like, I think you'd like it. But then again,
maybe skip this little joust scene where the horse falls over. Or make her fast forward through that part.
Yeah, but the horse got up and it was.
That's true. The horse was okay. I did like that. Everybody in the audience was like, "Woo, the horse is good."
Yeah. But it if I ever get rich, I want to just move out in the middle of nowhere and build like a castle like that.
The little castle.
Don't no electricity other than Wi-Fi. But like no lights. It would all be like fucking torches.
Oh, okay, that's kind of fun. What would the rules be at a Hess kingdom? Like if you had to have like 5 like rules that people live by, what would they be at a Hess kingdom?
I don't know. I would have to think about that. But yeah, like I would have no mail. Like you would have to send it by pigeon or something.
That's fun.
Yeah, I would have a moat with like hippos and gators guarding and stuff. Yeah, I don't want any visitors. I would have like archers, just perched at the top at all times.
That's fun. I like that.
I think it would be cool as shit.
Do you know what you're like? What would your house flag be?
Sorry. I don't know. Probably a big set of balls or something.
Can you imagine you roll up on a kingdom and there's just a waving flag and it's just hairy nuts? And you're like, what the fuck is this guy?
But anyways, there would be Wi-Fi for electricity and then air conditioning.
Oh, you might want to install some air conditioning into your castle.
Depending on where
I was going to say, actually, where you go, it could be just pretty nice out there.
Depending on where I move, it might not be needed.
In this, they always have like layers and layers of clothes on. So
yeah. And isn't it supposed? It's not even cold yet, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's a good little transition. What did you think of the winter is coming tease? I mean, are we going to hear that forever in this series because we know it's not going to come until 200 years?
Yeah.
And we even saw the little dagger that Arya kills the Night King with. He pulled it up or whatever.
Yeah, it was like sitting on his hip or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was very well how they intertwined this into the Game of Thrones. So
yeah, I thought so too.
It felt familiar. Like it felt like, it was like, oh, like I remember this, or okay, like this feels familiar. This,
although they did almost make it sound a little cooler, like the way like they're like humanity will be gone, and then there must be a Targaryen on the throne, as everybody will be gone from the Night King and shit. And you're like, it kind of goes by a little easier than that, but
yeah, because I mean,
but I guess that makes sense because those are myths, and then it actually happens.
Who was on the throne whenever it all went down?
When the Night King was there and all that, wasn't it still I can't think of her name. So it was Cersei, I think, still, and then Daenerys took over and all that. But then that's what's also confusing is he like insists after all that a Targaryen needs to be on the throne, which I know it's their family and it's myths and whatnot. But then it is weird it ends up being Bran after everything.
It is.
Like that's just a little strange.
So I mean, if we're to believe, like I said, if the show goes well and if it does what it does, will this lead us up to basically the beginning of Game of Thrones?
I don't know. I know they want to do a bunch of spin-offs, so I think some will. Like, the black guy in this with the long, like, gray hair, him and his family. There's a prequel. Yeah. There's a prequel being made of his family that'll also tie in.
Cortus or whatever, or something like that.
So they'll. I think they're doing more spin-offs, just family by family, maybe, and then might lead the ship.
Yeah, but see,
some of that I don't know if I'll. Because some of it's animated too. I don't know if I'll care for that.
I don't want to watch anything animated. I really don't.
And I know they say it's supposed to be adult animation and gory and they curse and whatnot, but I don't know. We'll see.
The only anime I've ever watched is Boondocks. Okay.
Maybe there'll be a lot of fucking in there, and you're like, I kind of like cartoon pussies.
No.
You never know.
Did you ever watch Nurse Jackie?
I've seen bits and pieces, but I've never really watched it.
The black guy's wife is from Nurse. That's where I know her from.
The girl that was like the queen who never was or whatever.
Yeah, she's she's like a doctor in Nurse Jackie.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like sitting there and I'm going, I'm like, I fucking know this chick, and yeah, she's from Nurse Jackie.
And it won't be the same actor either. It'll be a younger guy playing him, which is also weird because we're like it's weird to just keep going back in the past with.
Well, see, and that's it. Like sitting here talking about it, it's like overwhelming to me.
I can see that. We won't see this for a while. I don't even know if it's being filmed yet, so it'll be a while until we see it.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's like, for fuck's sake, we just have seen one episode of House of Dragon.
They want to turn this into like a Marvel or Star Wars, where it's like Game of Thrones has everything. That's what they're doing now.
Well, which is fine, but for fuck's sake, give it time. Let it age. God dang it!
I feel like they should really let each show do its thing, and then if they get a good idea, do a spinoff. I don't because they're creating. They've already canceled one of them when they tried to do the Night King prequel, and that was horrible. Apparently,
it's Lord Corlys is his name.
Oh, okay. I'll try to learn
the black guy, and then she's Princess Rhaenys Valerian.
Rhaenys Valerian. I like how you get the Game of Thrones like accent when you read their names.
Yes. I enjoyed it overall. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was a good way to bring us all back in. We got a lot of dragons. I like Daemon's dragon at the end, the red and black. That was fun.
That was pretty cool. So he just gets to keep that?
Yeah, I think everybody in the show has their own dragon, or we'll see them at some point with their shit. Yeah. At least
like
the Targaryen
family has dragon. Okay.
I don't know about the other families, but at least the Targaryen main people should all have their own.
Yeah, because I'm going. That's pretty trusting to send him off on his way with his dragon.
I think for the most part, this will be like the story of how all the Targaryens and the dragons went away. Especially because like we got that opening where the king ended up making Viserys king, and he's like, what the voiceover was like, and he knew that the only way to take down the House of Dragon was itself. So I think that's going to be the overall story, is just the Targaryens taking each other down. But I don't know where to go from there.
So basically just the family killing themselves.
I think so, yeah. Pretty much.
So when Daemon because Daemon's going to come and kill his brother. We know that.
Probably, yeah.
Do you think he's going to kill Blondie?
His niece or whatever? I don't think he will. I don't know if he will, because they seem to kind of get along. He gave her that necklace. They talked at the funeral. They seem to kind of have a good relationship.
So he's just going to be like, "Oh, I'm your uncle. I'm taking the throne."
I'm wondering if that'll happen, and then it'll be like, you know how Sansa was stuck with the king, and maybe she's stuck in this situation.
Fucking head off.
You don't like her at all?
I don't know, something about her bothers me.
I like her. I thought she was kind of fun.
I mean, she's fine, but it's just like. I don't like how, like, and this sounds stupid, but, like, they, like, glow. Like, they're, like, glowing. None of the other characters look like that.
It is so strange because they're going so hardcore into their blonde hair, blue eyes. Ness of it, some of the actors don't look like that.
Transparent. Like, no one else on the screen looks like that. It's almost like they're ghosts. You can reach right through them.
I think that's the point, though, because, like, they're supposed to be so like she even said, we're more like gods than humans. Like they're supposed to be more beautiful and better, but it is a little odd looking.
I just think it's odd, and weird.
No, I get that 100%. Is there any last things you want to say about Game of Thrones? I can't think of anything else we didn't talk about in House of the Dragon. I believe
so. Pretty gnarly.
I watched the next one, but I didn't remember the next one. And there'll be an actual intro in the next episode.
Oh, what did you think? They basically kept the same music.
Yeah, they played it quite a bit. I thought I was surprised by that, but I liked it. I was wondering as it was like about to start, like, oh shit, what's gonna be the song of this one? And then it was just the same, but then I kind of dug it still. So I'm cool with them keeping it.
Yeah, it was pretty much give or take the same-ish.
Yeah, although I didn't. In the credits, there's people singing to the Game of Thrones song, and I don't remember that ever happening before.
That no. Okay. I think they just added maybe a choir or chorus or something. But yeah, I was like, I'm like, I wonder if it'll be different music, because I remember when Weeds, like they changed it. It was the same song.
Yeah, it was the same song, but they'd have different people sing covers of it. I loved that. I love when shows do that, like they keep the theme song, but they slightly change it every episode. That's always really cool.
The Wire did that too. So
yeah, true.
So I was like, I wonder, and it was. So they kept it, and
but we'll see for real, because episode 2 is supposed to be like the legit intro how Game of Thrones
is. It? We got 10 episodes of this.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But
how long was last night's epi?
I believe it was an hour and 15. I believe.
Okay.
But that also includes their stuff at the end, so probably a little less than that. But I like that. Whenever you start like a first episode or a last episode and it's longer, I always like. Whenever it's shorter, I'm like, oh, this is just gonna be a normal show.
Well, yeah, it's like, because a lot of people thought the last season of Westworld was going to be, or the last episode of Westworld was going to be longer, but it was 58. So.
Yeah. Which, speaking of that, before we wrap up, do you want to give your thoughts on it? Because I did a video on it already, but we haven't heard from old Hesseroni yet. What'd you think of the finale of Westworld?
I mean, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was anything special. Yeah, I texted you, basically everyone's dead except Dolores.
Yeah. For me, honestly,
for now,
it made me not really care about Westworld anymore. The ending.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it completely, because it's like it's over and they're just rebooting.
Right.
So
Well, that's what I mean. It's just they're going to go back to their original park and all that, and I'm like, so we're just going to see season 1 again?
The only plus I said about that is maybe we'll get a lot of Jimmy Simpson. Will be the only
that
plus.
Would be cool.
That we'll get some cool scenes with that, and maybe even we'll get Logan back and then Ford and stuff like that. That'll be the only plus.
If Anthony Hopkins is still alive.
Yeah, true. Fuck.
I mean, I think he's like 87 or something like that.
And I know they're supposed to start filming it quick. I think they just want to get it going. That's even if they get renewed. But according to Ed Harris, they're going to film it quickly the next season. But to me, I'm just like, but what's the point? Like, it just seems like you guys wrapped up and are out of ideas.
It does, and it's disappointing. Obviously, not that Westworld was ever on Game of Thrones level as a magnitude of a show.
Yeah, maybe at the end of first season it was close, but not even then, I don't think.
Yeah, me personally, I don't think so. But
I just mean viewer wise, it was probably close.
Yeah, well, yeah, viewer wise, okay. But I'm talking like the first 8 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
7 or 8. Anyways, the last season ruined it for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, really? Like, this is fucking stupid. Like, we watched this shit for 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but everyone has their own opinion. I understand that it has to be hard to end a show that's been going for 7, 8 years or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, there's no perfect ending, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to make everyone happy. It's impossible. So.
Yeah, no, I get that 100%.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting when the next season comes out. I hope that they give it like an announcement and they're like, one more season and then it's over kind of thing.
One more season? We already have it filmed. It'll be starting tomorrow.
I saw someone had a theory that all they're going to do is they're just going to re-edit and put deleted scenes of season 1 in there and just go, here you go, here's season 5.
It would make sense.
That made me chuckle a little bit on Reddit.
Could you imagine if that's what they did? If they just season 5 was season 1 and it just then season 6 was season 2, season 7 was season 3.
That's what I'm a little afraid of. What they're gonna eventually come around to is the first season we watched was just a simulation, and like they're gonna keep going with that. And I don't want that to be the ending of the show. It's just an infinite loop of things. That'll just be annoying. But yeah, I don't know. I at the end of it, it literally ended, and I was like, oh, this is how Nick and Hess feel at the end of every season, probably.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And I was like, wow. And I was like, this is the first time I've ever felt that way. God, it's so annoying to like a show and then it just shits in your mouth.
Yeah, it did.
It reminded me of the Night of season 3. Not the Night of, True Detective season 3. Did you watch that one?
No, I haven't watched any of the True Detectives.
It felt a lot like they were gonna like tee up like it's a connection to season 1 and Woody Harrelson might be in it and all this stuff back in it, and then it was literally just a picture and something else, and like the whole ending was stupid and it pissed me and Nick off. It was annoying.
I remember hearing you.
It ruined the whole show for us.
Yeah.
So that's what Westworld kind of reminded me of. The last episode was just like there was a lot of cool parts I liked about it, but for the most part I was like, oh, this was pretty lame. Like everything's just every human in the show is legit dead. Even like Stubbs had a horrible death, and then
I'm like sitting there and like, why did Clementine she was hardly in it, and then she shows up.
She just shows up as like a badass, which was kind of neat. But I was like, where'd this come from?
I'm like, why is she even here?
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. I hope they put more thought in the next episode because honestly, even like I said, like Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, it felt like they were barely even like part of this season. Like they talked at the end of every like bonus thing at the end, but I think they each wrote one episode this season and that was it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was better than last season.
Yeah, no, that's all good. The season, it was better than season 3 100%, But I just feel like the last episode was one of the worst episodes they've had.
And that's the most disappointing part is the, where it's just like,
Yeah. Because even they're almost there. They almost redeemed the show for me. I feel like for a lot of people too.
Where it's like it's you watch it and you go, did they even know what they wanted to do?
Exactly. Yeah, because you go back and you watch season 1 or season 2, and there's legit clips of the ending and the first and second episodes with things and stuff like that. And this is just it all comes out of nowhere.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah,
it's pretty brutal. It's very disappointing.
We're done with that now. We're back in Game of Thrones, baby. I'm excited.
House of Dragon.
I feel like this will be a good season. I know it's just one episode,
I hope
but
so.
It seems like they really know what they're doing with this one.
I hope so. You did say it was all new writers and everything, correct?
Yeah, and George R. R. Martin's big into this one. There's been some interviews with him too lately where he's talked about the annoying things that they've changed of characters in Game of Thrones from his books and stuff. So maybe if he's in charge here, he can keep it the way they're supposed to be, and it'll stay good, hopefully.
Perfect.
But any last things you want to say to the people before we wrap up this pod?
No, nothing else. Nothing else.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on House of the Dragon or even Westworld Season 3, 4. And we'll see you guys next week. My little Queen of the Horse.
Peace.